Well, hello all. Just have a look at where we will be camping. So there's a chair, little barbecue spot. We have a table. Just look at this top. It's attached to those trees. And there's a table inside here. 2 more chairs. We have, this is really glamping. Look, running water. A basin. We have a box to store stuff. And we even have these little pixie lights that, let me just, I'll switch them on in a moment. And because it's going to be raining half the time, we've got our tent. Look, we've even got a carpet to keep the sand out of our tent. Let's unzip this. Look at that lovely big blow-up mattress, the double mattress we've got inside this tent. So there's our tent all ready for tonight, where we're going to be sleeping for 7 days. So here it is. There's our tent, table, chairs. It's going to be beautifully comfortable. And you might wonder, well, why I normally stealth camp. So why am I not stealth camping? Well, normally around this time of the year, September or October, I keep a feast, what is called in the Old and New Testament the Feast of Tabernacles or the Feast of Booths. And it's around about September or October. It's commanded in Nehemiah 8 verse 14 onwards to the end of the chapter, how the people in Nehemiah's day found written in the book of the law how one needed to go out, gather branches and build a booth and then live in it for 7 days and rejoice before the Lord. So that's like a custom that myself and my family have observed for over 50 years. So normally I would build one stealth shelter each day of the feast, but I thought this year I'm going to glamp it a bit and I'm going to make it just comfortable, and it's going to be raining, so one needs something that's waterproof. So I've got a tarpaulin and a tent, and we've got a lovely place to build a fire, keep ourselves warm. We've got electricity, running water, a sink, a box for storage. We even are going to have a cooler box to keep our beer cold, etc. So when one is stealth camping or just camping like this, so it's raining tonight, but many of the nights will be clear, and it's lovely to be out in the kind of more wild. You're not in a house, and then you really notice the stars. So I wanted to learn the names of the stars. So I got a star chart for where we live this time of the year. And we decided, this friend and myself, to turn the star chart into a mnemonic. Now, I did this once before with a grade 7 class, and it was a stunning lesson. The kids managed to learn 30 names of the star chart. So what we did is we took the names from the star chart and we started looking west. Then we moved to north and then to east. And we made a mnemonic of 25 facts about the star chart. So I'm going to try and recite the mnemonic just as we made it. And then I'll show you the star chart and show you where this mnemonic was going and how it helps us remember all the stars in the west, the north, and the east. So this mnemonic goes as follows. As the sun was setting, so that's the west, there stood a virgin, Virgo, liberated of her bra, Libra. So that in the west will be the constellation of Libra and Virgo. She's liberated of her bra, and she's swatting or wiping ants, Antares, and scorpions, Scorpio, from a saggy, teary ass. Oh, we love that. We just died laughing at that. Saggy, Sagittarius or Sagittarius is also in the west. And then to say that we were going now to look at the north, we said northerly. So she's wiping these ants and scorpions from the Sagittarius northerly. Corona. So now looking north, we see the constellation of Corona. Was smoking her, Hercules, Veggie, Vega, cigarettes, Cygnus, the constellation. This is all in the north. So we've now included a whole lot of constellations in the north. Alternatively, while standing in Lycra in water. So there's a constellation Lycra and Aquila, water, aqua. So those are the constellations in the north, and then it ends alternately looking east. So as she's smoking her cigarette, she's alternately looking east. Where she sees, now looking east, she sees a horse, Pegasus, in a big square, which is the big square, like a square of stars, with a fish, Pisces, sitting. There is something to do with sitting in water. There's another reference to Pisces aqua in the east, sitting in water, wearing a gross or big or gross Australian cap formally. So that is the mnemonic. Formally, there's a big bright star called forget what it's called, but it's Fomalhaut or something like that. Fomalhaut. It's a very bright star that is in the east, quite high up. So there we've included 25 facts about the star chart, which I can just remember because I've been over this mnemonic before. So I will show you it on the computer how this ties up with the stars. So if you want to learn a star chart, make a mnemonic of it. By the way, it changes from month to month, so you can't use the same mnemonic all the time. But, you know, all the stars just change a little bit from month to month, so there's just a few new ones you've got to learn. So I thought this was just fascinating. So we're going to show you what we do over the period of 7 days for this Feast of Tabernacles. So here is our star chart. Looking west is a Virgin. As the sun set in the west, there stood a Virgin, Virgo. That should be Virgo. Liberated of her bra, there is Libra. There's liberated of her bra. Rubbing ants, there's Antares, and scorpions, there is Scorpio. Here is the constellation of Scorpio. From her Sagittarius, there we see that. So if you look in the west, on the horizon, this is going higher, higher. Sagittarius is almost overhead. And then northerly. So now we're going to go and look north. Let me just see if I can get this to rotate east. So let's look north. Okay, so there is looking north. And let's go back to our mnemonic. So, Corona. So let's just see. There's Corona in the north. Puffed her, Hercules. There's Hercules. Veggie, Vega, cigarette, Cygnus. So there's Vega and Cygnus. So we combining all those names into a mnemonic. Wearing Lycra. There's Lyra, that's the closest we could get, Lyra, in water, Aquila. Alternately, looking east. So now we're going to look east. Altair should be somewhere around here. There's Altair. Okay, alternatively looking east. So let's again rotate this to looking east. There now, looking east, we see a horse, which is Pegasus, in a great square. So the horse is in a square. There's like a paddock. Where a fish, Pisces, sat. Oh, sat. The fish sat because there's Saturn in the horse's water. There's Aquarius, wearing a big, gross, now there's Grus, Australian, Pisces Austrinus. So we're just saying the closest word we can find for Pisces Austrinus, or Austrinus, is Australian, gross Australian. Cap stands for Capricorn. There's Capricorn formally, and there's the bright star Formalhaut. I've seen that in the sky. So if you remember this mnemonic, it's a story that combines all the stars except the southern stars, there were quite a lot there, into a story, and this just helps you to remember it.